Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 21 of the second season of Tosh News. And today we are joined by our resident Tory. So, hello there, Tory boy.
Good afternoon.
Well, it's evening, really. I mean, what's going to have to happen for you to join the great Farage side of politics?
Um, Probably I'll hitting my head very hard might do it, but
What about the
uh,
total collapse of the Tory party? Like, no
I
recovery,
mean,
it's over.
I
He'll
mean,
go
yeah.
independent.
If they literally got to the point where they couldn't sustain a registration with the Electoral Commission anymore, then that would probably be too far for me because then I would have to become responsible for doing the forms, and that would be dangerous. So.
Well, there you go. And also to introduce the new co-host, it's Cero. Hello, Cero.
Hey guys, residential wildcard here.
Oh, absolutely. So yes, expect Cero on all my streams, both this and Laughing at the Guardian. Tharium's retired, and I think we'll leave it at that. Um, anyway, meantime, as you can see, we've got the Reform Express. We've got four other planes in the background. Yes, this is mass deportations and the flight today that Reform pledged the other day, and a lot of people were very happy about it. A lot of people seemed a bit upset by it for some reason that I still can't quite get my head around. But yes, very big news last week. By far one of their biggest press conferences, and pretty much everyone seems very impressed by it. Because it's very much a rejection of Blairism, and it's basically what a lot of people wanted the Tories to do for 14 years. Wouldn't you agree, Tory boy?
I think they've become more of a focus over the last few years, yeah.
I mean, we wanted Liz Truss to do it, and we kind of thought she would, especially after being screwed over at first. But
They didn't give her time.
they did not give her time. I do agree.
We also wanted Boris to do it, just to mention.
We also did want Boris to
Well,
do
Boris was never going to do it. Come on.
We also wanted David Cameron to deport people as well.
Let's be fair. Boris would have done it if he didn't have his wife who was influencing him, and instead he just had his Dominic Cummings. If he just did what all he was doing.
If he had married Dominic Cummings.
If that's what it
that
would
would have
take,
worked.
yeah. Like take one for the team, Dominic. Because Boris was probably blind drunk all the time anyway, so he wouldn't care.
There's one amazing alternate history book in the making.
The Dominic Cummings and Boris Johnson story.
Boris,
they never
get
fall
married
out.
and
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
take they take England to a utopia. We're a power, an international power again.
Farage actually does retire, moves to America, and
Yep.
becomes special envoy with Trump or something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
No, but it's all very good, and I think everyone's impressed. I think Tory Boy might say that through gritted teeth, but I think we're all very happy.
Well, it's been a long time coming, right? People have been saying, "Where's the plan? Where's the plan?"
Oh yeah,
It's a few months out over out of date, but it's more thorough than I thought it was going to be. But there's still unanswered questions.
I'm sure there is. We're still in the mindset of 3.5 years out, slightly more than that actually, until next election. I mean, as you said, this is the sort of thing that, because things with like the Britannia card, that looks like they took like a week to think that through, and it wasn't too bad, but it did have holes in it. This one, they seem to have. Well, they're even pushing it as far as Ascension Island, which is like, if we don't have any other choice, we'll just throw them on Ascension Island. That's like, we need a last resort. Like, there's Plan Bs and everything in there, which is good. But I'm sure there's holes in it. I'm sure people.
Yeah, but that's like when Rishi Sunak said, "If we have to, we'll leave the ECHR."
Which
that was never going to happen.
Forgot about Rishi.
Yeah,
I actually forgot that Rishi was prime minister at one point.
Yeah, but that's Tory. I mean, well, we all miss Rishi Sunak. He was better than this.
Yeah. Oh no, I literally forgot that he was there. I don't know.
Sorry.
But what I will say is, as a, oh sorry, one minute. What I will say is that beforehand, the plan on its own, people would have been questioning it more. But one thing that we do actually have in the barrel, so to speak, is that we've seen Trump actually do things of like on scale, and because of that, we actually have an example of how it would work. So it's not even just theoretical anymore. So they can actually provide a plan and say, we actually know that this is doable because here's an actual example of it being done, relatively easily and humanely. All the things that people worry about. You're seeing the scenes in America, and obviously lefties are kicking off about it, but overall, it's being done, in a relatively straightforward way. So I think that that's also potentially to our favor.
Well, possibly. I mean, we're not going to dwell on this for too long because there's other things to talk about. But I will say we have just had a super chat, so thank you very much for the £5, Mr. Burrow. Thoughts on the spicy Douglas Carswell tweet? Personally, I found it distasteful, to put it mildly. Lots of S-libs seem shocked. I don't know his law. I mean, Douglas Carswell's very much on the spicier side of things these days, but he's nowhere near power, so it doesn't really matter what he writes. But he, I mean, for those who don't know, his tweet was... It was a retweet of something going on in Britain. I can't remember what exactly, but it said, from Epping to the sea, Britain will be Abdul free. And it's just, it's basic, I want ethno-nationalist magic internet points. It was thrown out for likes and things like that, because that's what happens. The edgier you get, the more likes you get, which is why I think Twitter's the biggest cesspit of all social media. I really enjoy it though. Plus, there's journalists following me these days, so I'm keeping it largely professional. Plus, I've obviously, I've been noticed quite recently by quite a few of them as well, so I kind of have to stay there. But it is just horrendous. I mean, I said it in my video today. You go on Facebook and you go on TikTok. I think because content moderation's better there, people, one, have to post slightly smarter, but also, two, you don't have... The only place I really see large-scale reform hate is X, and then certain videos on YouTube, and that's it. It's on Twitter. There's quite a lot of channels that are pro-reform, but they're all run by boomers. And then there's absolutely loads who are run by Gen Xers and millennials that are obviously, love me Tommy Robinson, hate reform. And Douglas Carswell, I mean, if you don't know his law is he was a Tory, he defected to UKIP, was their only MP for a while, won a by-election to stay as a UKIP MP. Did he lose after that? What happened there, Tory?
No.
What happened?
So the by-election was 2014.
Yeah.
Because when he defected, he resigned his seat and ran in the by-election. In 2015, he retained his seat in Clacton, which is the seat that is now Nigel Farage's.
Yeah. Okay.
I think before that, I think he might have been the only UKIP MP to ever actually win a seat at a general election.
Yeah, I think he was. No, he definitely was, because they've only ever had maximum one MP.
Well, they had two. It was Douglas Carswell and Mark Reckless. Because Mark Reckless did the same thing as Douglas Carswell a few months later in 2014. Because he was the MP for Rochester and Strood,
but he lost.
Which is actually not that far, which is in Kent. But I think he might have lost his seat in 2015.
I think he did. Well,
because he went off. Remember when he moved to Wales and he became a member of UKIP Wales? He became a member of the Senate.
Oh, did he? Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah. Well, either way. Well, I mean, but
then he's moved to America, Douglas Carswell.
Yeah, he's moved to.
That's why he's tweeting so much weird stuff, because he's like living in America.
He
can say whatever he wants.
He can get away with it, and he's got no chance of getting anywhere near power, because he wrote what I think was not too bad a deportation plan, which included basically deporting everyone who's a confirmed terrorist sympathiser on the terrorist watch list. It's like, investigate all these people.
I've just realised who you're talking about. Yeah, sorry, I just realised who you're talking about.
Yeah, he is all right, but he's quite clearly discovered being very edgy gives you magic internet points, and everyone just loves attention. That's why a lot
of Douglas Carswell started as like the libertarian wing of the Conservative Party.
Yeah, and then moved to UKIP because they were more libertarian. Yeah.
To be fair, it does. I understand it, right? Because it does juxtapose the Palestine, Gaza people with their chant, right? because their
Yeah,
chant is perfectly
obviously,
fine,
yes.
but
Well,
yeah, his wording was not particularly smart because you could have worded it in multiple ways that
I think
weren't
that the
quite as edgy.
effect that I think the effect that's happened is not what he intended. I don't
Mm.
actually think he's like a hardcore ethno-nationalist, but when you tweet something like that, you have to know how people are going to read it.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
the Steve Laws types are all like, oh my god, we've got Douglas Carswell on board, base. I mean that. I was reacting to a Politics Joe video where they were asking people in Clacton about Nigel Farage's policies today. There was one whole video where she was being dead disingenuous, saying like, "Did you know that he wants to make torture legal?" She didn't quite say that, but you get the idea. And
Wants to take away your human rights. Yeah.
yeah, and the reactions like, "No, he doesn't," or if it wasn't that, it was, "Oh, let me see what he actually said." Just basically, I don't believe you. But you know, everyone who was talking about immigration, it was always again, like we've been saying for ages, oh, the legal and illegal, it's a difference. They want legal tightened up, and everyone who's here illegally, they want gone. Like, they do still care about the process, but obviously there's loads of people who still rub their hands together hoping for a race war, despite the fact that, largely, both sides of the protest are, like, 90% white. It's going to be the stupidest race war ever. Anyway,
We deport the communists.
I mean, that's always been my position. I've never seen a reason why, because Ethnats obviously want Ash Sarkar deported, and I've always said, well, we can deport her, why can't we deport, what's he called, Owen Jones? And, he's English. It's like, yeah, but him and Ash Sarkar are literally the same person. So, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, that'll do for that. I think it's time for the news. But first, while we're still... Oh, we didn't do international news. Trump's dead. Then it turned out he wasn't. Don't know what that was about.
Apparently, he had a row with a contractor.
What was just?
I saw a lot of stuff on it.
It just disappeared. For
I won't go into it. Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's the excuse that he gives. The other more obvious one is that, well, he's like 80 and
is it
probably? I think so,
He's
or at least near enough.
78.
78, yeah.
So looks really good for that age, to be fair.
Yeah. As far as international news,
JD Vance was here. JD Vance was here.
Yeah,
that was funny.
There were protests in. Oh, sorry, I was going to say there were protests
in Australia.
In Australia, yeah, Australia, and also Indonesia.
What were they doing in Indonesia? I know.
Indonesia.
Well, the Australia one, I know they had a bit of a Nazi problem, to say the least. I was looking at Drew Pavlov's one that wasn't great. I think Drew Pavlov was even told like, I was told to avoid this area, but I didn't realise it'd be this bad. Like they're asking to have the law cracked down on them, which isn't great. But what were they doing in Indonesia? I didn't hear about that one.
I think that there were protests about like the economic sort of state of the country, and I think if I remember correctly, one of the police or army vehicles or whatever ran over a guy who wasn't even protesting and killed him, and that
sounds like a him problem, to be honest.
Well, he was a delivery guy. He wasn't even part of it. And so now he's effectively been martyred.
Oof.
Because he wasn't even part of the stuff. But yeah, there is an article I can probably link in the Discord later.
There you go.
Even the BBC wrote about it. I think the other one as well. I think that there's actually still an ongoing set of protests in Serbia, I believe, regarding the what was it? It was like the train station or something that collapsed because they outsourced, I think, the building of it, and the people wanted to have like a little garden on the top of like this overhang, but they didn't consider like that soil would hold liquid, and so it ended up collapsing under the weight of that. and it killed, I think, a load of people, and I think that has actually been going on for like a year or so. So it's not like a week thing, but I think they're still going about that. What else? I feel like there's a few other things, but those are the ones that come to mind.
The last one I'll touch upon is Israel seems to have annoyed everyone now.
Oh,
I think they've overextended. But then I hear other things like, there is food in Gaza, it's just being like stockpiled by Hamas. It's like I never know who to trust, and unfortunately I think we're only going to find out after. So I think Israel is still going to win, and I think people will still be happy about that, even if they don't want to say it out loud. Well, the leftists won't. But they're now calling up reservists after ceasefire for like 2 weeks to get humanitarian aid in. So it's just gonna steamroll them, I think. Apparently, I'm hearing in the chat, Australia calls its own immigration issue a stupid trade deal during COVID allowed Indians without barriers to move en masse, hence 78 to 80% of immigrants a year are from one country. I think that's true in Canada as well. I think both countries have ended up absolutely hating Indians.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, which is a it's a shame.
Australia's got their own problem with China as well.
Oh yeah. Well, they're right next to them, aren't they? Yeah. Right, anyway, that'll do.
Australia's not right next to China, I'm sorry. I can't let you say things like that.
Alright, not right next to, but they are in the vicinity.
Thousands of miles away.
Is it that far?
Yeah.
They're right under
they basically have the
island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
They're right under them. Oh, the Philippines and Papua New Guinea's in the way.
Yeah, the Philippines and the entire
Indonesia.
Was it Philippines? Yeah.
Oh, these nothing countries. Who cares? Yeah. Still, that China is the biggest country that is closest to Australia. I think that's fair to say. Is that okay to say, Tory boy? Are you not upset with that?
If you want to say it, you can say whatever you want. I'm just saying.
Right. Okay. It's not right next to China, but it is close enough for there to be diplomatic issues, I guess. Right.
There are a lot of Chinese spies in the Australian government.
There's Chinese spies everywhere. There's Chinese spies all over the American military as well. There's Chinese spies all over ours as well, because we let them all into universities. Who was the famous
case?
And then Jeremy Hunt marries one.
Yeah.
Jeremy Hunt has a Chinese wife, but I don't know if she's a spy.
No, which one was the one that I think it was Feng Feng? Which one was that in America? It was.
No, I've no idea.
Oh, that was the Democrat from California.
Oh no, that was such a funny story. It's like literally about what was? It's gonna bother me. Anyway, let's move on. But that I will remember that eventually.
Let's move on to an absolute harrying victory. That's it'll catch up. My Streamlabs is acting really slow, so I'm not getting right. There we go. It's okay. So it is working. That's good. Right. So first things first. Before we properly get into the news, one more meme. I want everyone to listen to this.
Tell you, really pleasantly surprised by Reform. Really pleasantly surprised. They are starting to pull out the bag.
Excellent. I think that's a really good take from AA, don't you? Do we all agree that this is AA's best take for a while? Because I think it is. Go on, Tory.
Go for it.
Go on, Tory.
It's funny. It's funny because it's actually a similar thing I've been thinking the last couple of weeks.
Well, let's listen to this bit.
Don't tell Harry and Gladive. I said, don't tell Harry and Gladive. I gave the Form guys 10 out of 10 and 9 out of 10 because he'll be gloating on Twitter.
Yeah, so AA, if you do catch this, here's the clip that people should send AA. Tell him to sign this form. It's free. Anyone can sign it. Tory boy, I think you're going to sign it one day soon, I imagine.
I think I'm too stubborn to.
I think you are too stubborn as well. It's very annoying.
I'm looking forward to the redemption arc, and we'll have AA on stream, and we'll all be holding hands and
bloody hell,
dancing around the maypole.
We'll see about that. We'll see how crazy the clown decade gets.
It's still early days. We're not halfway through yet.
We are halfway through. What do you mean? It only goes till 2029. We're more than that.
I was going to say, when do we class it?
It's 2020 to 2029.
And when are things going to start getting better?
About 2028, 2029. They only start getting better right at the end. Yeah.
I'm not liking this longitude. Yeah, I don't like this.
Oh, it's very
I
skewed.
don't like this curve. Yeah,
We are.
dear.
To be fair, we are getting some improvements. You know, the trans thing.
like a hockey
we
stick
won.
of improvement.
Yeah, I know, but we do get some white pills every now and then. You know, the trans thing we've absolutely nailed. I know. We're going to go through a story about Graham Linehan later, but you know, it's not all good, but it's only getting better. Like, trust me. Right, so Nigel Farage softens deportation stance, saying family's not priority. That's how the Times decided to post this particular story. Single women arriving in
Why was that softened? I thought that the whole point was that we would start with criminals.
Because people have got confused between Nigel Farage saying anyone coming over on a boat, man, woman or child, gets detained and deported, and the ones we have to find in the United Kingdom that are already here, we're going to prioritise finding the men first. That's what's got the Times confused. So
I don't understand how that's... That's not confusing, though.
They're journalists, all right? They're idiots.
I was going to say, if I can get it, they can get it. You know, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed unless I'm being paid to be.
Someone in chat's just said AA to be.
They are
Tharium
being paid to
replacement.
be.
Oh, that's true, actually. Sorry, Aaron, what were you saying?
Balor in chat's just said. Oh, no, you go. You're more important.
Oh no, I was going to say they are being paid to do it.
That's grim to think. AA to be. Oh no! Sorry, I just saw you. Aaron, I just saw you read in the chat.
Yeah, AA to be the Tharium replacement. I don't think so.
Oh man, I am here to see it. I will chronicle it for the history books.
Yeah. So single women arriving in the UK illegally will be deported under a reformed government. Nigel Farage has confirmed, though he appeared to soften his plans for mass deportations. I mean, that has become common lexicon now. I'm here. Part of the reason I don't really watch any alternative media anymore is because I watch Times Radio, Spectator, Telegraph as well, and they were not saying mass deportations at all, obviously, until after this particular press conference, which again, it was said by, what's she called, Alex Phillips, is it? She said Nigel Farage is the Overton window, and that is kind of true, and it's because he's got such a reputation for not pushing it too far. He pushes it, but he doesn't push it too far. And playing the long game seems to work with the Overton window, which, well, this is a fruit of it. The Reform leader sought to clarify the party's stance after giving a series of conflicting statements about promising to remove up to 600,000 illegal migrants in the first Parliament. Policy entitled Operation Restoring Justice was announced by Farage at an airport in Oxford on Tuesday. I mean, the optics of that were amazing too. They did it in an air hangar. Had this massive departure board. I mean, even the Daily Telegraph was saying, yeah, this just looks really impressive, and honestly can't knock them for this. This is really well put together.
I was about to make a very witty joke, but I was about to say that one of these names is not like the other, and then I'm thinking, no, one of these names is actually not like the other. Why is Vietnam there?
We've had a load of Vietnamese. 1 year, Vietnamese were like second highest illegal migrants. I think it was 2023.
I mean, I might have. Well, I was going to say if it was if we're talking like pre-90s, I might actually know a family. But
yeah,
they were friends of my parents. But I think they were actually potentially fleeing like the whole Vietnam thing when that was going down. But anyway, that was a whole different thing. But it is kind of funny that one of these names is literally not like the other.
There's two answers to your question. Why Vietnam? One is because Vietnam, a lot of people are leaving, but primarily it's because Vietnam, the North Vietnam won the Vietnam War, right? And so Vietnam to this day is still a communist country.
Okay,
it's a one-party state propped up by the Chinese government, and it's actually not a very nice place to live.
No,
I believe it.
Yeah, it's not. It was quite funny. I remember. God, do you remember that socialist with the assets? Let's say,
You're not breaking it down too much.
I was going to say that's several of them.
The ginger one. Ashley Coffin, I think she was called, but
I'll have to Google this.
She used to. Well, you might need to do your Face ID.
Oh no!
But she did a YouTube video. She used to do YouTube videos like years ago, but I responded to one about how Vietnam dealt with COVID, and I was like, you can't trust anything coming out of Vietnam because they're a communist country, one party state. Like, and you know, yeah, sure, there's some countries screwing up, but ultimately we're all experimenting with the best way to do it. Look at Sweden; they've done really well. You know, I think New Zealand did too. Maybe it's to do with the fact they're not very dense, but yeah, I do remember going through that and learning quite a bit about Vietnam then. And I always remember the Top Gear episode there as well, which hopefully should be coming up quite soon on my rewatch of all those, because I watched all the Grand Tours up until the end of the road, One for the Road, the last one. I was like, I'm gonna have to watch all of Top Gear before I do that. Like, I'm gonna put myself on a journey for this. So yeah, I'll be watching that in like 2 months.
All
time.
of Top Gear.
All of it. Well, not just the May Hammond and Clarkson era. So I've skipped season 1, which had Jason Dorr on. Anyway, yes, Vietnam's terrible, and people should be deported there from there. I don't care if it's a human rights violation or whatever. Because we can't.
I mean,
look
I'm just
after
happy.
everyone.
I'm just happy that they will admit that a communist government is a human rights violation to send them back.
Well, yeah.
I'm happy to admit. I'm happy to agree there.
Well, I was going to say as well, actually, Operation Restoring Justice. I reckon that they were originally going to call that Restore Britain, because I need to find the tweet. But someone found out that Reform actually had a domain called Restore Britain, and then obviously Rupert Lowe's Restore Britain came out, which, you know, there's some people saying that maybe he did that to try and undermine Reform. But Reform obviously just renamed this from Operation Restore Britain, assuming that's what they were doing first, to Restoring Justice. And, I mean, either way, who cares? Like, the mass deportation thing is what everyone's calling it. so there you go. Asked if women and children will be included, he said yes, women and children. Everyone on arrival will be detained. Farage added that he accepted that how we deal with children is a much more complicated and difficult issue. Zia Youssef, a senior figure in Reform and Brawn-bred Scotsman, also said Phase 1 would focus on adults and unaccompanied children, would be sent back toward the latter half of the 5 years, because we don't want the men here. The men are the ones causing the issues. Pressed on whether women and children will be exempt, he said, I didn't say exempt forever, but at this stage it's not part of our plan for the next 5 years. Several hours later, he again sought to clarify his comments, saying there had been a slight confusion and he had not understood the context of the question. He told broadcasters, deporting children is a very difficult thing to do. Who do they go to? What are their wards of care? Women and children. Intimating? Yeah, intimating,
yes.
Yeah, families that have been here illegally for some years. Are they the top of our list? No. Asked if women and children will be deported, he said if a single woman comes to Britain, they will be detained and deported. If women come with children, we will work out the best thing to do. Again, not... You say it quite a lot, Tori, but these are readable things to say, and they always get battered for it. To be fair, the Dorkright haven't really picked up on these particular details this time round, but I don't really get what are the Times complaining about exactly.
I don't know what they're complaining about. But the point is that they're being hyper pedantic about the exact things that Farage is saying, and they're trying to make it like, oh, he's changing his mind or he's changing things on the fly. When actually, that's not what Farage wants to talk about. He wants to talk about, here is a plan to take the, as you say, 600,000 mostly young men who have come into the country in the last 5-6 years and deport them first.
Yeah, exactly, which I think we're all on board with. Good. Right. Green Party announces eco-populist as leader in landslide victory. Yes, Zach Polanski has won. Who surely they mention it. So he's a self-described eco-populist and has been elected leader of the Green Party. The 42-year-old's fiery debating skills and radical left-wing. He's 42.
Wait, I've got it. Was he the one related to the streamer that you were talking about, the socialist one?
No. Oh, that might have been hypnotherapy.
Maybe.
You got me there. Yeah.
So we've answered the question. Yes, it does work.
Yeah. Do you know the Greens have leadership elections every 2 years? That's mad. Why are they so mad? So Soren beat the joint ticket of MPs, including the incumbent co-leader Adrian Ramsey, who ran with Ellie Chowns. A month-long ballot of Green members ended on Sunday. It was announced on Tuesday morning that Polanski would lead the party, having won 20,411 votes. It was a comfortable victory as Ramsey and Chowns took 3,705. The turnout was 37%. Oh my god. He absolutely steamrolled it. It's not even close. The result will likely add pressure on Labour over how it responds to trailing second in the opinion polls, and a possible proliferation of left-wing voters look to other political parties. Plus you got Corbos. I didn't have the story of that. They've fallen out over the trans thing.
Oh no.
Which
one believes in women?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Is that too soon?
The MP for Blackburn.
Is it? Yes, it is. Anyway, there we go. We can quickly run through that next. The contest was triggered in May when Carla Denyer announced she would step down as co-leader to focus on her duties as MP, having won the seat of Bristol Central and ousted Thangam Debonair, a sitting Labour shadow cabinet minister at the 2024 general election, who they just made a lord and is now in the cabinet anyway. Great. Which I can't complain too much about because that's pretty much what Nigel Farage is going to do, I think, anyway. Yeah. So I'm not going to complain about that.
It's an absolutely based part of the British political system.
Well, that you can just go Chad no and put people you want in place anyway, exactly like Tories did with Cameron. Exactly. Why didn't they ever put Claire Fox in a position? You know, she seems based.
She is a baronet.
I know. That's why I know she's in the House of Lords. I listen to her speeches every now and then. I'm glad the Greens aren't doing the co-leader nonsense. No, I want them to do the co-leader nonsense because they might actually get something done now, and I don't really want them to because they're awful. Anyway, yes, he does all his debates, but it's all the same script that the Greens always read off anyway. He's just better at speaking. He's just a better orator. That's basically all that happens with the Greens. They all literally have the same opinions and then complain that someone doesn't win a debate. They don't realise they don't win debates because their arguments are terrible. Anyway, I don't think it mentions it. Yeah, the main thing that is brought up about Zach is that he used to be a hypnotherapist, and part of his hypnotherapy was he offered women the opportunity to, have hypnotherapy to enlarge their breasts. I'm
still trying to work out if it works or not. You know, just for
someone had statistics. Apparently, it does. So there you go.
Oh, they have it.
But I don't know if that's a correlation thing. Corbyn and Sultana's party split over trans stance. As if it hadn't experienced enough splits over the last few weeks, it transpires that Corbyn and Sultana's new party is divided over policy on trans issues. Your party, not its official name according to a fuming Sultana, is set to have 6 MPs with 4 pro-Gaza independents to join the group. But while Sultana has insisted she will always speak in support of trans people, one of these, Adnan Hussein, stated last week that trans women are not biological women. Talk about trouble in paradise, eh? I do quite like Steer Pike articles. But,
it baffles my mind that people are still trying to push the idea that they are indeed biological women. The ones that trigger me the most, get me #triggered, are the ones that actually are medical professionals. I'm like, you've spent 6 years, 4 of that at least, or 3 or 4 of that at least is like general. You know what a biological woman is, and somehow you're still going to try and pull this stuff.
I remember just after uni, one of my friends did, I think it was biochemical engineering. No, it wasn't engineering, like biochemistry or something like that. Basically, so it's something that's related to biology. And I started telling her after uni about the feminine penis, and she's like, "What the hell are you on about?" Like, that's not a thing. Like, she thought I was joking. Anyway, fast forward like 6 years or something, and we meet up at a mutual friend's wedding. And I say as a joke at one point, I'm transphobic, and then she goes on this rant about how trans women are real women. And I'm like, wow, that only took 6 years.
Madness.
Yeah. I think if I said that now, she wouldn't care. I think it was at the height of the trans madness. But
who was it? Who was it that did the phrase? One picture two stories.
Oh, that might
was
have
like-
been Jonathan Haidt. I only
Yeah, I
say
think
that.
Jonathan
I only say that because I heard it on Adam and Sitch. Go on.
Yeah, and because I basically think of nearly every issue through this lens now,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
that, Sarah, the reason why you don't understand it is because they're using a different meaning for biological. They will see the same words written down that we see, but they will read it completely differently. And it's. I mean, I actually do think myself. I try and get out of my own bias a little bit, and I go, well, I try and see their side to things, but sometimes they're just wrong, and it's like. We need to have if a society can't agree on the meaning of words, then I mean we're just screwed anyway.
Yeah, I think was it Aristotle or whatever that said the beginning of wisdom. It might have been Socrates, but the beginning of wisdom is to call things by their proper name. I can't remember. It was one of them that said it.
I don't know, but the Bible says the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord.
Oh well.
Damn.
I mean that also works.
That's true.
But
Go to church.
but yeah. But no, it is this sort of postmodern idea of breaking apart the divisions between things, and that includes words because words are used to define. And I can actually see what you mean about trying to when the word is used to define a specific phenomena, and you're trying to essentially bend the phenomena and then also bend the word around that phenomena until the two sort of match whatever idea you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was that person on Twitter, India Willoughby,
Oh yeah.
who's famous for being somebody on Twitter. I don't really understand it, but
no, he was Jonathan Willoughby, was I think a newsreader, and then went trans.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you know,
and then was on
using the term. But saying I am a biological woman, it's like, okay, you've had surgery, you've taken hormones. I understand that has changed certain aspects of your biology, but that's not what we mean by biological woman.
Yeah. Well, it's like me when I say I'm an Anglo. Anyway, Alan's corrected us. It was actually Scott Adams who, if there's two people cited all the time by Sitch and Adam, it's Scott Adams and Jonathan Haidt. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Also, it was Socrates. The beginning of wisdom is the definition of terms. That was actually the term that I was looking at.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Long story short, Sultana says trans women are women. Hussein does a Chad no. Yeah, which is a really funny thing. Like, you know, I really don't like the Gaza independence, and it shows a really shocking direction of our politics in Britain. At the same time, at least they're doing some base stuff. I'm wasting time for the left. Right, Kemi Badenoch stands by disputed Stanford offer claims.
She's just boring.
She's just awful. She's just sorry, Tory, but I felt like I had to include a Tory story here, and this was the only interesting one. Kemi Badenoch has insisted she was offered a place at Stanford University age 16 after the university's admissions officer at the time said her claim was untrue. Tory party leader said that she had done very well in her exams. She got what? BCD, was it? 2 B's and a D? D was in maths. No way she's getting a scholarship on that. Unless it's like Stanford Polytechnic. Anyway, she'd offered a partial scholarship to the elite California institution. Badenoch, who lived in Nigeria until the age of 16, has previously said she was offered a place to study in preparation for a medical degree at Stanford, but her family was unable to afford for her to take it up. Isn't her family from, like, the elites of Nigeria, though? I don't know.
But they're not actually that wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Elite. Yeah.
All right.
I've never seen any proof that her family has any like money. It's just that they come from a certain kind of middle class strata.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Instead, she returned to England and studied at a further education college before a degree in computer systems engineering at Sussex. The Guardian reported former officials at the university casted doubt on her claim. John Reiner, then responsible for admitting international students, and the allocation of bursaries, told the newspaper, although 30 years have passed, I would definitely remember if we admitted a Nigerian student with any financial aid. The answer is we did not do so. So it's even beyond that. Is no Nigerians were allowed 30 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know how someone remembers that sort of thing.
You'd be surprised, actually.
I think admitting Nigerians 30 years ago was so unique that he'd remember it. But yeah, obviously she claims she got the scholarship there, but it turns out probably not true. But at the same time, when she was doing exams here, she obviously stood up and said that boy's cheating, and the boy got expelled. I'm going to be honest, I don't know why there was so much hate for Badenoch doing that. I didn't think that was the worst thing she could have said, and I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I suppose the un-English part of it is standing up in the middle of the exam to say it. You say it quietly after, I guess. But I think snitching's okay. I think we actually quite like snitching on like people who break the rules. To be honest with you. Anyway,
as I found out during COVID.
Well, yeah.
Sorry,
exactly.
what was that, Tori?
I'm sorry.
I'm pro snitching because, of course, I am in favour of the police.
Apart from what one
I will leave that with
you. Have you got a license for that opinion, Tory?
I try and avoid it.
UK borrowing costs hit 27-year high, adding pressure onto Reeves. Were you a fan of Reeves?
Think about that. But think about that 20 whatever billion black hole.
It's gone up to 40 odd now.
Oh well.
Can't
even lay that at the feet of the Tories. Sorry, Tory, what were you saying?
I was just saying, I've been thinking a lot about the kind of people who are in the cabinet. And I've had an epiphany just today that we are living in a Generation X occupied government.
And it's somehow worse than the Boomer one.
Yeah.
Wait until the millennials are in.
Tory.
Well, that was my question. Is Zia Yusuf Gen X or millennial?
Oh, he's millennial. He's 32.
Exactly.
Is he younger than me? Sorry, Karen.
Yeah, he's 32. He's quite young. Yeah. Yeah. He's good.
Crazy, isn't it?
He looks way older than I do.
Yeah,
I don't know if that just comes with the territory.
I think that comes with being a millionaire CEO. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because he looks knackered
to be fair,
all the
look
time.
young.
Yeah.
He does, yeah. I mean, so do I, but he looks older than I do. Jeez.
Yeah.
He's also in a suit and tie.
Yeah, that makes
true,
you look
true.
older. Yeah. I look like I'm a schoolboy though, which doesn't help.
Well, yeah, but you are basically a schoolboy.
I'm 29.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Anyway.
I keep forgetting this.
UK government borrowing costs have reached their highest level since '98, adding to the pressure on the Chancellor ahead of the budget. The interest rates on 30-year government bonds, known as the yield, jumped to 5.7%, making it more expensive for the government to borrow money. That's worse than Liz Truss. Rachel Reeves officially crashed the economy. Obviously that means we need higher taxes. It's going to be great. Sorry, have we ended up in a situation where we basically have a socialist government? Was the government before basically socialist, do you reckon?
So there was this election that happened in 2024 where voters did not listen to all of the advice they were given and voted for a madman.
Oh no, you got the year wrong. You're thinking of Cameron.
It was 2015. He's got you there.
I mean, I do blame it on Blair, but Cameron was meant to be the rebound, and he was like, you know what, this is great. We're gonna just carry on as is.
That's not what happened. Am I gonna have to get my PowerPoint presentation out?
You can do it, but then I'll just get out my rainbow flag and say this is where it started, and it didn't start under Blair. I don't think it started under Cameron. But anyway,
it definitely started under Blair, but that's a whole different point.
Well, it definitely started under Blair, but when you got Osborne and Cameron saying we're the heir to Blair,
Yeah.
Did you hear Jacob Rees-Mogg answering questions? I think it was yesterday, Tory boy. It's quite a good little bit, but he does basically say Tories governed terribly for 14 years. We deserve to lose, and it's all because we were conservative when fighting against Tony Blair in all the elections up till 2010. And in 2010, basically thanks to Cameron and Osborne, they decided don't have any sort of narrative against the
No.
insane
This is
liberalism.
revisionism.
Go on then. What's your
Revisionism.
take? What's your take?
In 2010, they formed a coalition with the Liberal Democrats, and that hampered what they could do. Why does no one remember the coalition?
I remember
it was such a big thing. It took 5 years of my life up, you know.
So why?
Tory.
Okay.
I mean, you got to remember. I do remember that. I was a Tory up until, probably up until about Boris. I was also a Tory. I remember the coalition. I remember the "I'm so sorry" the remix that they made of the Liberal Democrat, which he never lived down, and I don't think that he ever, which was hilarious. But yeah, I remember the coalition, but I always understood it as the Tories basically steamrolled whatever the Liberal Democrat part of the party were, and they didn't allow for because the one thing that Harren, we spoke about it recently. I think we said how the one thing that was shoved onto the Liberal Democrats at the time was the university fees, but it was a Tory idea, but for some reason the Lib Dems had to take the fall for that. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, let's not relitigate the 2010 to 2015 Parliament.
I just want to ask then. 2015 onwards, why didn't they do what they promised in 2010 then? If they were so conservative.
Well, if you remember, in 2015, they won a small majority and were surprised to win that. Had no idea what they were going to do with the majority they had. And then there was a little thing called the European referendum that happened in 2016.
I remember.
So
then
why
David Cameron resigned.
So why didn't they just implement
was thrown into
Brexit?
chaos. Well, I mean, Theresa May did actually try and do that, but wasn't very good at it. And then she lost her job because of that. So I mean, just years was spent arguing about almost nothing that nobody can even remember what happened.
I mean, let's be fair. When was gay marriage?
2013, I think.
Okay, you're going to try and blame that on the Lib Dems.
No, it's David Cameron's idea.
There we go. Right, so
I was in favour of it.
Well, I'm not being funny, right? We are throwing all of this onto Mog's revisionism. I don't even care. David Cameron, massive lib. I guess that's what happens when you have relations with a dead pig. Go on, Tori.
Oh. Speaking of Jacob Rees-Mogg, I don't know if you're going to cover the funny video of him peering over the wall.
No, we can bring it up when we get to that section. So I'd wait on that, but that he did bring that up as well, though.
I'm primed.
Yeah. For now, I think we'll get back to Labour. On the currency market, the pound also fell more than 1% against the dollar on Tuesday morning. It fell to $1.34, which is its lowest level against the US currency since the 7th of August. Susanna Streeter, head of Money and Markets, Holgreaves Lansdowne, said the Chancellor faced highly difficult choices in the budget and that she had been dealt a warning by investors. They're selling off UK debt, clearly concerned that the government may be losing its grip on public finances. Its manifesto, Labour promised not to raise taxes such as income tax, VAT or national insurance on working people, and this has led to much speculation over what Reeves could raise in the autumn budget. Well, they should cut, shouldn't they? But the backbenchers kept rebelling.
I was about to ask, why are they not just cutting the public sector?
Because the backbenchers are mental who say, oh, it's only 10 billion, why do we need to raise taxes? Because they're morons, Cero. Complete and utter incompetent morons who do not know how public finances work. Because they don't they're all MMTers, so they think, oh, just money print, it'll be fine, just raise the taxes, that'll sort it out. But then all that's doing is money printing with extra steps. So why not just have it as like a household economy anyway? Even Max Tempers, who used to be a simp for the MMT side of things, has been like, well, clearly this isn't working anymore. He's a finance
It is going to work.
I just don't understand what.
Fundamentally, MMT does work because
it does not
inflation... work. Wait for it.
Okay,
because
sorry, Karen.
The point MMT says that if you spend too much money, you just need to tax it at the other end to take it out of the economy, and then for debt doesn't matter. It's true because inflation is a tax.
Yeah, well, tax is deflationary, right?
But it's
That's the idea. It takes it
yeah.
out of the money cycle.
But it's getting the whole thing backwards, though. Like, they assume the government just has infinite money to spend, and then when it's too much, you tax it. Well, we're at the point now where they are spending too much for too long, and now they're trying to tax even more. But you can't just tax it at the other end because people leave the country. And then you had the Guardian saying, you had the Guardian writing articles saying,
but my point is that inflation itself is the tax.
Yeah, I know.
They will inflate. They'll inflate the debt away, which means that it doesn't become a problem. But all that means is that living standards go down, but it's hidden from you because you're not seeing it happen in pounds and pence figures. You're seeing it happen through inflation, and this is more political inevitable. But you can only do that for so long.
Yeah, because political reality.
What's the thing you always mentioned? The Laffer curve.
Yeah, Laffer
like there's only so much you can actually tax.
Well, I mean, that's a bit different, but that's it's more you get diminishing returns on tax.
Well, the Laffer curve is why you don't do it through normal taxation. You do it through inflation, because the Laffer curve means if you increase taxes, you get less economic activity. But with inflation, you get the same amount of economic activity. It's just that everything is worth less, so the debt is worth less.
But then that's the thing. They try and balance out the inflation through taxation because taxation is deflationary because it pulls money out of the economy.
Yes, but then they won't allow any deflation then because we don't want people saving. We need people spending. But then it's like, but people need to save to buy a house and stuff like that. So it's madness.
Yeah.
It's stupid. We need to go back to monetarism. Give me neo-Thatcherism.
But I will say thank you, Bertori, because you did clear some stuff up there, and I did actually. I actually hadn't seen some of those things about. I mean, I'm still massively against monetary theory, but like, I actually understand it better now. So yeah, thanks.
Well, they always use the sink analogy, but again, they've got it backwards. Like, government doesn't have money until it's taxed, but obviously they can do because they have the money printer. But then, as you say, the problem is you keep the money printer going forever. You hit 11% inflation, everyone hates you and won't vote for you again. Which is pretty much what happened to the Tories. The only place it can work is America because they're the hegemon. It can work there, but even they can do it.
I'm not sure. I think that's actually well, people keep saying it because it hasn't broken down in America yet, but actually, America will still get to the same point. Just takes longer.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been doing this for what 70 years now, and so. It's catchy. I mean, there's a reason why people. I remember back in the early 2000s when I would say things like this, and people would be like, "That's crazy talk. You can't. That's just right wing economics." I'm like, but we're now getting to the point where you can literally see it happening in front of your eyes. And voters are now voting accordingly. But it's taken them like 70 years to find out about it.
Thatcher was trying to fix the issue.
Well, if some people might say that Thatcher was the problem. Because Thatcher allowed things to go on longer because accelerationism is the correct thing to do.
Well, I don't agree. Well, no. She would have fixed the whole thing, but then Blair happened. There, I said it. I mean, so much gets put on Margaret Thatcher that just was not her fault. I get fed up with it. Anyway, the old... Basically, your taxes are going up. That's what you need to learn from this, because Labour cannot do anything with the economy. As to be fair, the Tories did warn. Unfortunately, the Tories put us in a mess as well, so why would anyone listen to them? There's a bit of a Labour reshuffle as well. Again, this is kind of in the news, and all I'm really ever hearing anyone say is, I don't really care. Okay, actually, no, they do kind of care. So, one who's been changed is Director of Communications. That's the 4th change of that in 5 years, or 5th change in 4 years, I can't remember. A couple of people in Treasury have been swapped over as well, because obviously the economy is a mess. And what I'm hearing from people on like Times Radio and things like that is basically, I don't really care, this looks like a government in complete disarray, and it looks like they're going to do what they can to hang on to power anyway. But a lot of people are very open about Angela Rayner probably being the next Prime Minister, possibly Wes Streeting, which obviously Z. Yusuf and people like that have said, God, hold on to your hat, that's going to be worse.
Yeah.
Because, apparently number 10 insiders are saying what you call Angela Rayner's actually quite good in terms of she kind of gets stuff done and actually pushes for work to be done. But then at the same time,
for the punchline.
well, at the same time, like she's got a target of 1.5 million houses to be built, and she's never going to reach that. So I don't think that's true.
You'd have to slash regulation to such a degree.
Oh yes,
and also, not to mention the sheer amount of. One thing that people don't seem to realize is that the level of damage that COVID lockdowns did to our economy, it's hard. It's sort of hard to sort of quantify even now. Stuff like supply chains, even like material costs. So material costs, I don't think have even really recovered since COVID.
No.
Stuff like studwood, concrete, that kind of thing.
Well, so that's also because of HS2, to be fair, because all the concrete in Britain goes there.
Well, yeah, I didn't even think of that, but
yeah.
I mean, but yeah, just that stuff on its own, building itself has become more expensive. I mean, I know because I've been trying to source wood for my carpentry hobby, and that's been a nightmare as well.
Oh, what was it? Oh, I know. I have friends and family that have been looking at extensions, and I know. My friends down in London, they wanted to extend their kitchen by 5 feet. £80,000, and that's just for one story.
Lord.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
How many bricks are in 1.5 million houses?
I know a couple who probably are, yes.
Wait, do you mean that's worth 1.5 million houses, or how many bricks can you fit in 1.5 million houses?
No, how many bricks?
Oh, how many bricks?
Oh,
no, I have no idea.
It's like 4 times the number of bricks the country produces in any 1 year.
Oh, well, she has 5 years to do it.
Yeah, but we would be importing.
But it's just like there's not enough material in the country to like do this.
No, we would be importing, and importing that just adds an extra layer of expense that's just astronomical, especially for something like bricks, because it's heavy in comparison to how much it's worth.
Anyway,
it's like toilet paper. It's something that you want to
that's
create
why
domestically.
In the 19th century, you used to have local brick factories because it was so heavy to transport them places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. Starmer has brought Baroness Shafik, a former Deputy Governor of the Bank of England, as his official economic advisor after criticism of the lack of expertise in Downing Street. What if her advice is just you're screwed? Like you literally can't. You had to cut something and you can't. Like you can't do anything. What then? Hello, Poetry Seal. Also, there's 30 people watching and only 10 likes. What's going on, people? Like the video.
I realised I've been neglecting the chat. Sorry, I need to.
But also, Alan did correct me. Yes, we obviously got Major in between Thatcher and Blair, and Major was a bit of a disaster as well. Yes, I understand.
Forgot about Major.
Don't worry about that. I did remember, but Blair was really the one who accelerated the terribleness. Like Black Wednesday was bad, but I think the 2008 crash was worse.
I was about to say 70 quid, like EC91, but no, you corrected to 70k. I was like, 70 quid?
Do Labour actually think Rayner would be any better? Yeah, they do, for the simple fact that Rayner's really personable. I mean, that picture of her vaping on the dinghy, my snobbiness comes out, sure, but people actually really like that because she seems like an actual person, not a robot like Starmer. Yeah, it's all about vibes. I mean, Tory Boy had a rant the other day about it's all about vibes, isn't it? Yes, Tory, we keep telling you that.
And also, I think that the problem is that they don't exactly have another option. If Rayner drops through, then I think the party probably implodes.
They have.
So it's not like they even have options.
Well, they do. They have Wes Streeting, but he's too continuity, I think, for a lot of them. Because Wes Streeting very much is Blue Labour.
I think it depends on because it's going to be a vote of the membership, right?
Yes. Well, it's a bit like the Tories, where I think they get nominated by MPs first.
Yeah, but like the candidates. I mean, if Keir Starmer resigns, then either Angela Rayner will be appointed, be the only candidate, or there'll be a contest. And if it's Angela Rayner versus Wes Streeting, you have to imagine the kind of people who are members of the Labour Party will vote for Angela Rayner. But at the same time, I've never so far lost by saying they're never going to vote for a woman. Every time, like I'm just like, oh, of course the woman's not going to win because it's the Labour Party.
Why do they have a woman problem?
I don't know.
You
It's
asking me?
just
I don't
one of
know.
those things.
I'm just asking it in general, but it's true. Like I thought a woman was
Yeah.
going to be leader, and then Starmer got in.
Mm.
And Starmer only got in 2015. The only reason he got a safe seat in St Pancras was because Ed Miliband wanted him as Attorney General. It's the only reason he's an MP.
Do you remember when it was the leadership election was Keir Starmer versus like 4 women?
Yeah, and he won. I was like, well, that's good odds for the women.
Yeah.
And yeah, he beat them all. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he's really boring. It doesn't help how much like my daddy looks, but you know. Anyway, tax advisors.
Does Angelina look like her mother?
Listen, only because they're both ginger. Tax advisors cast doubt on Angela Rayner's housing arrangements. No, my mum. I'd say my mum looks a bit prettier than Angela Rayner. Further questions were raised over Rayner's property arrangements as tax experts cast doubt on whether she should be entitled to a 40,000 reduction in stamp duty. Yeah. Obviously, Angela Rayner's queen of the second homes are absolutely awful. Anyway, she's just bought a third. And obviously, tax avoidance. She's literally said before, avoiding tax gets people killed. Like, she's unironically said that, and here she is, avoiding tax. It's not illegal what she's done. It's perfectly legal, but it is avoiding tax, which is the legal one.
Is that picture from Brighton?
Yeah, no, it's in Hove.
Oh, right.
That everyone's very, very specific on this. It's not Brighton, it's Hove. But also,
yeah, Hove is the rich part.
Yeah.
I remember because I used to work near there.
Well, another point of this is Brighton and Hove's a very safe Labour seat. No, it's a very it was a safe Green seat,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a safe Green seat, but I think it's gone to Labour.
Well, no, because Brighton has more than one seat. So it was Brighton Pavilion was the green part, was the city centre of Brighton, whereas the Hove part was a Labour Conservative marginal at one point.
I think it's full on. I think it's a Labour safe at this point. Well, it might.
Everything's a Labour safe seat at this point.
No, there's no
such thing as a... it was.
Yes, there's no such thing as a safe seat anymore.
Only taken a year for that to change.
Imagine if Seb Payne finally gets a seat that's supposedly safe and he loses to Reform. Or even funny, the Lib Dems. How's he aged 20 years in a year? At the start of 2024, he looked 20 odd. Then at the end of it, he looks 60.
I mean, it was a very tough year for him.
What did he do? What did Michael Gove do to him?
I mean, I feel that, but it's like, I don't know.
Anyway, she dodged the higher rate of stamp duty applied to second homes by declaring that the flat she bought earlier this summer in Hove was the only one she owned. 2 months earlier, she forfeited her stake in a constituency home in Ashton-under-Lyne, which she bought in 2016 with her former husband. In 2023, the couple split the ownership with a trust administered by the law firm Shoesmiths Trust Corporation, which is understood they did so in place of some of the house equity in trust for their children. Yeah, that house was... she avoided stamp duty on that as well, didn't she? Because she had a council house that she obviously had right to buy, even though she hates Thatcher. And then she sold that to move in with her husband, and I think avoided tax on that somehow. And HMRC looked into it and basically said, oh, we're not bothering. So, yeah, that was another legal thing that was avoiding tax. Great.
Mm-hmm.
What's more liberal, Brighton or Bristol? Probably Brighton. Brighton's like the gay centre of Britain.
That's actually a hard one, because I think... Oh.
Bristol's much bigger.
Bristol
I think Brighton...
So Bristol has a very liberal part of it, which is like the centre. But Brighton is that all of Brighton is that, but it's about the same size as the centre of Bristol.
Yeah, I think you're right. You got like a lot more like events and stuff that are sort of known internationally in Brighton.
Yeah,
but they're both pretty like
it's like
terrible.
It's got like the biggest LGBT pride parade or whatever.
Is Brighton the only one of those in the world? I always think, like, does every country have their own town where all the gays moved to?
Yeah, it's San Francisco in America.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favourite Simpsons jokes where Castro's talking about America and he says, America's not so bad, they named a street after me. And someone whispers in his ear and he says, it's full of what? Because it's the gay street.
No.
It's a really good episode, that, actually, where they go to Cuba. Anyway, tax experts on Monday night... tax experts said on Monday night that depending on what sort of trust was set up, given the two of her children are under 18, Rayner may still be considered to own an interest in the property, and this would mean that she would not have been eligible for the low rate of stamp duty. I'm not being funny, but either way, it doesn't really matter any of that. Rayner's whole thing is the rich constantly dodge tax and it gets people killed. That's exactly what she's done here. Like, it's the hypocrisy more than the legality. If it's illegal, that's a bonus, but it's the hypocrisy story. And it was really funny as well. I think Christian Calgi was on Spectator TV, and he's noticed, Labour just aren't used to being in government because I'm constantly, obviously, asking them questions, and I've had texts back from some insiders saying, why are you focusing so much on these stories? Why do you want comments on it? And he basically has to tell them, well, when you're in government, you are way more scrutinised because you're running the country. You just have to deal with it and answer our questions. They just hate it. And this is what's happened to Rayner, and I don't think she's used to it. Having said that, she seems crazy relaxed. It's making her crazy.
Crazy how they just didn't. No, I think crazy how they just didn't think about that. Everyone knows
so
this is the
normal.
case. I just don't understand. Everyone knows that being in government is tough and hard. And actually, the Conservative Party had a really tough time, and they made it look quite easy in a lot of ways until COVID.
That's because they didn't do anything.
Well, it makes it a lot easier. But I've been saying this for years that the Labour Party is eventually going to win an election. And the first thing they're going to find is that all of the things they're complaining about are then going to become their problem. And they're not going to do anything about it because it's impossible to fix these problems. And voters don't care that things are impossible to do. They just want you to do it anyway. It's I honestly believe, and I've said this for a long time, that governing in the 21st century is almost impossible because we live in a 24-hour news cycle where you constantly have to be... There is literally no human ability for politicians to be on top of their game all of the time enough to please the average voter.
So how do you explain Farage? Well, he's not in government.
Farage, I keep saying the same thing about Farage. When they win the next election, Reform are going to have an absolute ton of problems.
Yeah, probably.
Well, we've actually already seen it to some extent where...
Seen it in councils.
Well, I was going to say before that, when they finally got a seat and the rhetoric had to be dumped. This was where the online right kind of had their problem with it, where the rhetoric had to be dumbed down a little bit when they first had their couple of seats.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to mention that, well, they're Mott and Baileying it because their position in the government is temperamental at best at the early stages, especially. And you don't want to scare away the average voter.
It was said really well by Gawain Towler. What Farage does is because according to Gawain, Net Zero's been a pet hate of Farage's for decades. He's hated the climate action for ages, but he's always said, "Don't say anything about it. We're just not in a position to actually do anything about it, and it's not particularly popular to go against." However, you get to the point now where energy bills are through the roof, and you throw Richard Tice out to basically say we're not giving any more subsidies to wind farms, and we'll put Dale Vince in jail. And it's the most based thing ever, and this is why, obviously, now we've got AA basically saying Harrion was right. And a lot of people are going to be saying that over time, I think. And it's once again, it's very difficult for me not to be smug, but you can't see it, but here's my smug face.
I think I can hear it.
Yeah.
But I completely understand. But I was going to say that to Tori's point, I think that there will be a reckoning when Farage finally does when he is voted in, there will be a reckoning there. And the question that we all have will be, will he rise to it, or will it crush him like, so many other politicians we had faith in?
Well, from what we've seen of Farage so far, he tends to thrive under pressure, but we thought the same thing of Boris Johnson, so don't get me wrong. I understand the worry, but I don't see the point in really thinking about it till it actually happens, to be honest. It's like, what if it happens? Well, I can't do anything, so who cares? Anyway, Home Office threatened to deport foreign students overstaying visas. Why don't they just deport them? I think because they can't, because the ECHR would probably get in the way. About 132,000 adult students and their families who are in the UK legally but nearing the end of their studies will be contacted by the Home Office via text and email, warning them that they will be removed if they remain in the country unlawfully. It's the first move of its kind, which the Home Secretary Yvette Cooper said would help clamp down on misuse of the asylum system. Cooper said that the thing is, though, like, misuse of the asylum system, but what if they do go through the asylum system? What's actually going to stop, like, warn them to go away, or what? Go into the asylum system? Like, how's that going to help? Is this a stupid move, Tori? I feel this is a stupid move.
They already get a letter that says this. This is just saying they're going to get an email.
And a text, right. I didn't realise they already got a letter. Thinking back to it, I probably should have known that because I lived with a foreign student who had no interest in staying anyway because it was too cold for him. He was from Cyprus. So if you submit an asylum claim that lacks merit, it will be swiftly and robustly refused. That's not true. Any request for asylum support will be assessed against destitution criteria. If you don't meet criteria, you will not receive support. If you have no legal right to remain in the UK, you must leave. If you don't, we will remove you. How many people have they... I think they've forcibly removed a few thousand, and I think that's been it. Out of the 30-odd thousand, they've basically had to pay people to go, or they've been voluntary. Which is quite funny because that's what remigrationists were saying for decades. Oh, just pay people to go back. They're doing that now, and they're not happy. And I think Steve Laws and that lot are soon going to be launching another movement called Remigration Now. I don't know why they need so many movements. Why not? They've also said they want to do entryism into Restore, so why make another thing? Just actually take over Restore. Charlie Dan's on his side. It's Rupert Lowe's. Sorry, Roberto Loans.
And which one's Ben Habib?
That's Advance. That's the toothpaste-looking one.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
people remember all these.
I remember it because it constantly comes up on my Twitter because I laugh at them a lot. Plus, I'm in a couple of group chats.
Lawrence Fox was Reclaim.
Yes, Lawrence Fox was Reclaim. Who was the black guy? He was Heritage.
I mean, that doesn't...
David Curtin.
David Curtin was Heritage.
He remembers because that's Harren's flavour of autism.
Catherine Blakelock, she's English Democrats. That's another one.
Who is she now? Oh
yeah. She ran the Runcorn by-election, got 95 votes on the English Democrats. I can't tell you how mad I would have been if like all these alternative right wing, like UKIP ran in it. That's Teccoloni or whatever the Italian name is.
It was 6 votes, wasn't it?
6 votes. If that was because it was split by all these idiots trying to go in, trying to prove a point, I would have been so mad.
It is kind of crazy how much that Runcorn by-election has affected things as well.
Oh, it's mad. It is the best thing that could have happened to Reform. Because I really like Sarah Poachin as well, not just because she's obviously a Cheshire housewife. But no, she again, Reform. Guiding the Overton window. I've not heard anyone talk about female police officers probably shouldn't be doing the beat themselves. Never heard that before until Sarah Poachin came in, and then I heard it on Spectator, Telegraph, Times. I heard it everywhere. It's obviously out the conversation now. But those seeds being thrown in of Sarah Poachin throwing these things out is great, and then everyone goes nuts at her because she doesn't have an opinion on digital ID cards. Which is a very popular Boomer opinion, by the way. The Boomers really want ID cards, so it's not even that mad. It's just for the crazy onliners who don't want it, for good reason, by the way. I'm also against it. Anyway, on to the big story. The Bell Hotel in Epping wins appeal to overturn asylum injunction. As it happened, basically, the Supreme Court has decided that, in fact, yes, the illegal migrants' rights trump that of the locals. I think there's 2 injunctions technically. One was a temporary one that said they had to be out in like 20 days, but there's another one that's more long term about the planning issue, which I don't think they have overturned yet.
Literally some commie Fabian that actually
one was chairman of a Labour group, whatever. Another was they're all Fabians basically. But yeah, everyone's mad about it, apart from the Home Office. I heard Yvette Cooper today coping and seething, saying, "Oh no, we definitely want to close the hotels. It just takes time." I think the thing is they don't want this to close because it means getting very expensive HMOs, which obviously they want to kind of bring the price down a bit, I'd imagine. But also HMOs are just objectively worse. But the thing is that everyone's going to protest them being here anyway, so why not just deport them? Because they're in the ECHR. Why not leave the ECHR? Because Keir Starmer loves it. He's built his entire career defending it.
Was it Cummings or maybe one of the conversations we had? But it's just like, why does it take so long? Does it take so long because it actually takes long, or does it just take a long time because people don't want to do things, or
why does what take so long?
Like all of these things is like, oh, we want to do something about this, but it just takes a long time. It's like, well, why does it take a long time?
Oh, because Check Every Smog kind of answers this. It's basically because a minister will come along and say, no, you can't do this, that, and the other because of these laws, and then they don't want to change the laws because they want to keep the system going as it is. Apparently they used to say it's because the EU doesn't let us. Obviously that's gone for some years now, but they've just got too used to not being able to do anything. That seems to be the case.
Because not being funny, right? Back at in the workplace example, if you really want to get something done, and I don't recommend it doing this way, but if you want to get something done, you can pull an all-nighter and it gets done. You know what I mean? If people wanted to get things done,
it's not so much about it's more about willpower rather than laziness.
Well, that's what I mean. Because they just don't have the will for it.
Well, no, honestly, when Parliament's open again, they're talking about keeping it open and eating into the Christmas recess just to get things done. They will work longer when they want to get things done, but the thing is, they can't overturn basic things like the ECHR because headlines will be bad.
I guess the only problem is...
I mean, to be fair, Dominic Raab and Priti Patel had this issue where then when you actually try and do things, the civil service will cry, say you're a bully, and then get rid of you. To be fair, that did happen to both of them. To give Tory boy his credit, they weren't more terrible.
I agree, and I guess the caveat to that as well is that I would prefer if there was more sort of checks and stops for Labour, because I actually don't want them to do the things that they want to do. So, I guess it's two sides of the same coin. But yeah, I think that the problem, with the Tories, and the thing that people are worried about with reform is that, they might say something, but they just won't have the will to take it through. So I think that's the fear.
Yeah. Well, anyway, a Belt Hotel security guard posed with guns and cash on social media. I hope they're airsoft, but I can't tell. So yeah, security guard at the Essex Migrant Hotel at the centre of an anti-immigration protest has been suspended after social media. I might be able to tell you. Well, I should be able to tell you, but I don't think they are. Showing him posed with guns and cash. Amjad Khan, originally from Pakistan, worked at the Bell Hotel in Epping. He posted pictures on social media platforms such as Instagram and Snapchat, including images and videos of a black shotgun, a handgun, and an assault rifle.
Excuse me.
Where's the shotgun?
I think it's on the left. It is, yeah. So it's a
weird muzzle brake. I guess it can be a breach.
It's a fair point, actually. No, I see what you mean, actually. Yeah, I didn't look at the muzzle brake.
That's an MP5.
But that's an MP5, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is that nobody knows anything about guns in the media, so they'll just say shotgun. It's like the breach doesn't look big enough either.
No, I think you're right, actually. Yeah.
We're massive gun nerds. We need Jonathan Ferguson.
Well, I haven't been to my club in a little while, but I didn't really do much with shotguns. It was mostly with rifles. So
Well, they're AKs. I can't exactly tell what
yeah.
type. That's very obvious. That's a AR-15
That,
variant.
it does look like an M6. Yeah, either an M.
Either way.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Go up. There you go. That's the shotgun there.
That. Yeah,
Left.
probably.
Yeah, on the left, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
God,
it's still a
pistol
magazine
grip,
fed, but yeah, that makes more sense.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, that might be the same gun actually. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe the lighting is weird.
Who knows?
The brace looks different actually. Sorry, I'm not gonna get.
I don't want to
get. I'm gonna get.
Listen. We'll do a Tosh talks on our favourite guns one day.
Oh, for me it's quite easy.
So they appear to have been taken while Khan was in Pakistan. Well, that makes sense, given that it's Pakistani money, and where you're going to get assault rifles and shotguns like this in Britain. The Bell Hotel.
I was about to make a joke about Vietnam, but then I thought maybe no, too soon.
The Bell Hotel is owned by Somani Hotels and managed by CTM North Limited under a contract with the Home Office. Security guards are provided to CTM by a subcontractor called Supreme's Facilities. On Saturday evening, Andy Lane, the managing director, confirmed that Khan had been suspended and an investigation had been open. Lane said the officer is an employee of Supreme Facilities Limited and is currently suspended pending a formal investigation. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want the guy doing security because I assume he's here legally, fair, but I don't think I probably shouldn't have been. I don't really care that he's posed with guns and money. I think you should be able to be a security guard and post pictures like this, frankly. As long as he's not shot a kid. I mean, to be fair, his trigger discipline's awful, assuming that's him. But,
yeah.
You know, what do you think, Tori?
I've never really understood these sorts of stories. I've never really got it. But,
well, it's
just
guns
one
bad.
social media post can ruin your entire life, apparently, so whatever.
Does that not scare you?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty scary, but, you know, that's the life, that's the world we live in now, so, you know.
I was going to say, to be fair, if you're an FAC, I do not know if he's an FAC holder. Firearm certificate, sorry,
I doubt
people
it.
in chat. Yeah. If he's an FAC holder, you are under incredible scrutiny. So I don't think it is illegal for you to take pictures of you with your guns. But if you take any sort of picture with you with your guns, and the law enforcement have any reason to believe, number one, has anybody other than you touched your guns? Are you being negligent in any way?
But that's in this country.
Yeah, no, I'm saying this is in this country. So I don't. Are these pictures taken? Are these all pictures not taken in this country?
No, this.
I'm presuming this is done in Pakistan.
Okay, so I guess the only caveat there would be, yeah, if that's the case, then I don't care personally. But the other thing here is that does he have firearms in this country, and is that potentially, has he demonstrated, good gun safety? Is there anything to say that he might not be trustworthy in this country?
That's a police matter. That's not for his employer.
Yeah, depending on his, generally speaking, yes, but it would be. So wait, are you saying that did I miss what he said? Did he lose his job because of these pictures?
He's been suspended.
Suspended, okay. Yeah, that's a bit silly.
Whatever that means, but
Yeah. Yeah, no, sorry. I think I misunderstood because I thought that these pictures had been taken in this country, in which case I was just thinking that's because if any of these are automatic, then that's like a crime. So, yeah. I think.
I mean, it doesn't look good, does it? I mean, it's not stuff you really want to be posting on the internet. But he's only really lost his job because the job is in a high-profile place.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, I think I should be able to go abroad and post pictures on Snapchat of guns and expect to be employed. That's my basic take.
There are pictures of me on the internet with firearms. I will,
This was actually there was a big issue back in, gosh,
I think so.
In the 2010s when you would get advice given to you by central office in the Conservative Party, and it was like, if you go on holiday to America, you can go shooting, but just do not post the pictures online.
Yeah, I really do hate that cultural practice of Brits just hate guns for some reason.
Yeah, I mean we have a lot of firearm culture over here. It's just not as prevalent as the US. I just do not understand. Like some, I don't know. I'm probably not the person to talk about this because I'm very much biased on the side of I enjoy my fire sports
I like my guns
when I finally get around to actually doing them.
I do like my guns.
Is fire sports the opposite of water sports?
Yeah.
Sure.
I love fire football. Anyway, Epping 2 charged in connection with Epping protest. So, long story short on this, Sarah White, she was the woman who, I'm sure everyone's seen the video of her running up the Civic Centre stairs to fly Union Jack. She breached a Section 14 order, which effectively says this is the area you can protest. She went out of that area and is being charged for it. How do you feel about that,
Do you have a license to stand on that particular spot?
Law and order.
I hate to say it, I'm kind of on Tory side. There's a give and take with protest. The police have to organise to make sure the protest doesn't get out of hand, and that means anyone who leaves the area they've dedicated to the protest cannot stay there. Hopefully it's just a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, look, let's face it. I mean, I get quite passionate about this sort of thing, which is that people do things all the time thinking it's only a small thing, or no one's going to care, or it's only me. But you have to understand that laws exist under a principle of universality, right? If everyone was doing what you're doing, it would be bad for society. Therefore, it's illegal for you to do it. So yeah, I get it. Oh, I've only walked up some stairs and waved a flag. No, you're in a place you're not legally allowed to be.
As part of this
would you say that our laws? Would you say that our laws are definitely applied universally?
That's a different thing.
No, he doesn't, and we all agree that they should be applied universally. And yes, Extinction Rebellion and Just Stop Oil got away with, well, not murder, literally, figuratively got away with murder, where they were constantly outside of where they should have been, were blocking roads and were being arrested. We wanted their heads cracked, effectively, despite the fact they were completely peaceful. Because being peaceful does not mean you're above the law. Anyway, another guy, Scott Davey, was also arrested for breaching the Section 14 order. I think that was after the dispersal order was made. They had to leave the area, and he just didn't. So, there you go. And then, finally, a 22-year moral man from Epping was arrested on suspicion of inciting racial hatred and racially or religiously aggravated criminal damage. That was Callum Baker. The guy everyone was like, how's he inciting racial hatred? Well, it turns out his arrest was in connection with an investigation into allegations a banner had been set alight on Friday the 29th of August. And I can't find any images of that, so I have no idea what that's about. And I have no idea what the banner is either, but, you can't just commit arson, is another point. Obviously, you can have fire
I know
pits.
It's not quite related to Epping, but are we also including this evening the comedian writer or the comedy writer that got 5 police?
Yes.
We are okay.
Graham Linehan.
All right, I'll leave it to it. I actually forgot his name.
Yeah. You should know his name. He wrote some excellent comedies. Why shouldn't she allow to be there? Sorry, I just want to address this. Because I've helped organise protests before. The police tell you, this is your area where you can protest. These areas are off limits. She went to an area that was off limit. If the police don't do anything, they're not really enforcing their rules, are they? And the police have to enforce their rules. That is why. She's not going to go to jail. She might get a fine. She might get a day of community service or something. I don't really mind. If you're told by the police don't do something, don't do it. I know we're all scared of being in an authoritarian state, and I know we have two-tier policing.
I'm not.
That's not going to last forever. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I know you're not.
I mean, we're not. I guess we're not the ones getting arrested for praying in our heads as well. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good question. Tory boy, what do you think of that? The woman who was arrested for praying in her head.
Outside
I think
of
the police did. I think the police did the right thing, but I don't necessarily agree with the law. I also so remember there's two different events that happened there. There was one which was a public space protection order in England, and the second was actually the one in Scotland where it was an actual law that Parliament had passed. And so it's a completely different discussion for both of them. And obviously that was why one of them the lady won on appeal because public space protection orders were not intended to be used that way. But the one in Scotland they passed an entire law just to do that, and so the police couldn't not enforce it.
So, and
There you go.
I'm going to try and frame this in a way that's not going to get the channel banned. uh,
Good luck.
yeah, I'm just trying to work out how to put it. How would you protest a bad law? Let's put it that way. If an unjust law.
Well, in the example you're giving, right, you can protest outside the law.
Say
But
again.
which
You cut out.
what?
You cut out.
Oh, sorry. So you could protest against that law outside the Scottish Parliament. There was no law against that, but you couldn't be in the area around the abortion clinic.
The zone. Hello.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it. I don't know what they
Just call
call
it
it.
the zone. Who cares?
Yeah, the permitted area or the unpermitted area. No, it makes sense. I mean, the thing, the case in point that I always come up to, and I think that this image is kind of burned into my mind a little bit, was that the COVID protesters. Oh, no, so no, it wasn't the COVID protesters. They were mistreated as well. But it was specifically the people after Southport where they were protesting outside. I realized that this isn't quite the law. Actually, the COVID protesters would be a better example. But the image I've got in my mind are the ones post Southport, and they basically did nothing until the press got there, and then they rounded them all up like cattle just so that the press could see that there were mass arrests. And that was when I realized that like our protesting laws are completely bunk, and yeah,
I think
that was the point where sorry.
I don't think our protesting laws are that bad. I think the outside, praying in your head outside an abortion clinic, like the whole thing around abortion clinics, I think is a bit mad. Obviously, that's the worst bit. But protests I've been at helped organised one as well. I don't think it's unreasonable. Contact the police. I want to protest. Okay, you can do it right next to Parliament. Oh, cool. Yeah, just stay in this area. Cool. Do some speeches. Go home. The Epping one, largely it's been similar. There's a bit of violence at the first one. There wasn't really any since until after the Epping overturn. But I mean, did you see Canary Wharf as well? By the way, Canary Wharf had a load of masked men like going through the shopping centre, and then they started having a scuffle with the police, and then Jack Hadfield and someone else who was filming it got like pepper sprayed because they were trying to film everything, and obviously got collateral damage from that. And they were like, "Oh, these people were just peaceful." It's like, no, they weren't. They were trying to beat police. Like, what are you talking about? I just saw your video. But it's there's a reason to have these laws, and it's to stop things like that happening. Like, I'm with reform. I just would not allow face coverings at this point in time. Maybe give it a sunset of about 4 years or something. Like, I don't like face coverings. Just mean bad news these days.
I just, despite having. I have family that have been in police. Especially over the last half decade at least, my trust of the police has gone into negative territory, like beyond negative territory. I just don't trust the police. I'm sure that there are some people who do a good job, but for the most part, I just don't trust them to actually do a good job or actually do anything to the benefit of the British people. I just do not trust it at the moment. So that is definitely clouding my perspective. I can admit that.
Well, I'm sure Tory Boy will give you very good reasons to not be that neurotic about it. But anyway, yes, Graham Linehan arrested over posts on transgender issues. So the writer of the best TV show ever, Father Ted, has been arrested at Heathrow over 3 social media posts on transgender issues.
You're not helping the case.
Why?
5 armed police
Oh yeah.
arrest a comedian over
Well,
tweets.
that's just the nature of them being at an airport. Graham Linehan, who also created the best TV show ever, IT Crowd, and with Dylan Moran, Black Books, the other greatest TV show ever, said he was intercepted by 5 armed officers after flying in from Arizona and was told he was under arrest over messages. Writing on Substack, the 57-year-old Irishman said he was taken into a cell and then questioned over posts published on X in April. He said the post related to him challenging the trans-identified female in a female-only space. Linehan said after questioning by police that his blood pressure was over 200, stroke territory, and he was taken to hospital and kept under observation before being discharged and released on bail. His bail, by the way, condition, I think the only condition was he couldn't use Twitter. Which is just mad. Yeah, this is obviously crazy. And literally this week, Farage is going to the US to raise free speech issues with Trump. Like, what a thing to happen this week. Again, Tory, why did the Tories do nothing to, like, stop Britain getting into this state, Tory boy? Just, do you have an answer to that?
Nobody cared.
Yeah, they did.
Nah, no, nobody important can tell you about the Communications Act 2003. Nobody knows about it.
Matt Goodwin could.
Matt Goodwin's a Johnny come lately.
Yeah, he is, to be fair. I'll give you that. I kind of give you that. I mean,
We've been talking about this for 10 years now.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Oh, yeah, I know. And
it's only in the last 2 years that people outside of us understand that there's deeper issues. You can't just say free speech. You have to talk about the actual things you would change, the actual laws you would change.
Section 127 of the Communications Act was a very specific thing we talk about, to be fair.
I know, right?
But my parents would. My parents knew about the Chelsea Russell case, the girl in Liverpool who posted rap lyrics. God, that was back in like 2015, something like that.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, they were talking about that since like 2017. But obviously, there's other things that take priority because boomers just don't think they're going to jail for what they post online, and the ones that do actually do have like just hideous things said. So people don't have much sympathy for them, but. It is ridiculous. Like, you have a block button, dude. Just block people you don't like. That's why I don't block anyone, because I like everyone. But I think what was the other funny part of this? Well, one, Graham Linehan unfortunately went to hospital because he was that stressed out by this. But it's just ridiculous. Like, there were 3 really innocuous tweets as well. Does it go through them? I don't think they will. It does mention Farage is going over to the US to raise the Lucy Connolly case, which a lot of the leftists say, oh, well, she pled guilty, not realising that that was advice given to her. That was not given to the Ricky Jones guy who said a much worse thing in public in front of a crowd that, were riled up, let's say. And they clapped it, which was even funnier.
I'm surprised that no one's tried to pull any nonsense with Anne Middleton. If we're going to talk about spicy tweets,
I don't think he's well known enough, to be honest. I know he's a celebrity and all that, but I don't think people really care enough.
Was Connolly known?
Well, that was the problem you've got there is that was at the time of the riots. I think it was timing there that got her caught. It got loads of people caught. There was a girl who ended up pleading guilty because she was just recording a TikTok live. She just had a TikTok live up, and people walking past her were saying racial slurs, and she got arrested for it because she was putting the broadcast out.
You're not helping my case.
Our speech laws are mental, right? We want to change the speech laws, but that's a very specific part, and that's why my advice is literally always like, go and have a good time with the pink ladies if you're going to protest, but if you see mass people, just leave. Just leave. Even being present there puts you at risk of being arrested. Just go. It's not worth it. And that's why, because we have ridiculous laws, which I agree they're ridiculous, so vote reform and they'll change them, with any luck. But yes, everyone complained about this. Tories, Labour, Reform, obviously. Greens probably didn't. Not sure about them, actually. I think Jeremy Corbyn's party was split on it, but they're split on everything. So there you go. Yeah, amazingly, Labour hate this, and are they going to do anything to change it? Of course they're not. Right, we'll finish off with this. Reform UK woos big business before party conference. Yes, they got Heathrow to sponsor them, which I think you said before, Tory. They sponsor everyone because they want that third runway.
Heathrow goes to most of the conferences because they're like, we need to get politicians on side, which is weird because like it's never worked.
Yeah, but it probably will work with reform, won't it? Or it's most likely, I should say. Large businesses are flocking to Reform UK's party conference while Labour is raising prices for its annual gathering to build up a war chest for the spring locals. Reform is offering packages worth up to 250,000 that include boozy breakfast with Nigel Farage, the leader, bottles of champagne delivered to the exhibitors stand, and free drinks at the bar. I wish I had $250,000. Some businesses are worried about the effect of their brand reputation of attending what promises to be an unpredictable event and are unsure whether Reform can maintain its momentum. Bloody hell, they're like 15 points ahead of Labour at this point. God, what's the party in third called again? Tories?
Lib Dems?
Oh, possibly. Oh, very good. One executive at a major public affairs firm said that they would prefer to only to dip their toe in the water. It is quite funny. Gawain Taylor, again, one of the board members who was voted in, was talking about this, saying when he was communications director at Reform, he'd get a load of business leaders saying, really want a meeting with Reform, like, could you arrange that? And he basically said, no, that's not how we work. You basically have to catch them when you can, because they're too interested basically in going around seeing other people. So it's kind of a free-for-all. And they really hate that. But then when this happens and you have to pay $250,000, they're like, I don't know about that. Others want to be seen to take an early interest in Reform, which has led every opinion poll for the last 4 months. How does that make you feel, Tory?
Whatever. No, I have transcended caring. I don't need that stress in my life.
They control
live my life.
They control 10 local authorities, and that was without every vote going ahead. And holds 2 metro mayoralties. Oh man, look at that. That's very good. They missed out that they won a by-election, but probably because they don't want to mention that we've lost 2 MPs. Heathrow.
I always forget about the guy in East Yorkshire.
Guy in East Yorkshire. Oh,
yeah, the other mayor, the mayor of Hull in East Yorkshire. I never hear about him.
They did. He had an interview with Dr. David Bull the other day on Reform's channel. He's doing all right. He's he's a bit more quiet, but he's apparently having a bit of a wrestle with the civil service there, from what I understand. Can't remember his name though. Luke Campbell.
Yeah, the boxer.
Yeah, the boxer. Yeah. God, and Aaron Banks nearly won the Southwest.
That was so funny.
If he won that, I would have absolutely lost it. I'm kind of glad he didn't, because I want him to go for the by-election going on in Jacob Rees-Mogg's old seat. I think that would be hilarious. So it is housing. Heathrow is one of the biggest commercial spenders at Reform's conference, which starts Friday at the Birmingham NEC. It's hosting a lounge, an area traditionally reserved for Labour and Conservative conferences, where front benches will be quartered away from the public glare. Well, all 4 of them. Heathrow's expansion plans are backed by Reeves, the Chancellor, but are expected to take a decade, so development could be overseen by future governments. Heathrow says its executive team has a long track record of construction engagement across the political spectrum, and is looking forward to discussing its future with Reform delegates. TikTok, the social media platform which Reform has built a following, is also attending the conference for the first time. Wow, I didn't know that. At least 5,500 tickets have been sold for the 2-day event, which Farage will address on Friday and close on Saturday. Do you know Zia Yusuf was posting that he had more followers on TikTok than Conservatives do?
I did see that, yeah.
Get wrecked. You're getting ruined by our boys.
I'm still refusing to go on TikTok.
It's surprisingly normy. I mean, my TikTok's absolutely full of gorillas at the moment because of the.
Sorry, what?
The band.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not actually a band.
Yeah,
yes,
gorillas.
Yes, I know. It's just Damon Damon Oldman, whatever he's called. I know it's just one guy who made 4 people. Yes, everyone knows that, Tory. I grew up in the 2000s.
No, because I never knew that until like about a year ago.
Yeah, no, it's the guy.
Yeah, I didn't know until recently either.
It's the guy from Blur. Yeah, it's the singer from Blur. That's why.
You know, I found that out like less than a year ago.
That's why the voice is the exact same for the main singers of both bands. Yeah,
I never noticed that.
you know,
Yeah.
Clint.
I mean, I never used to listen to Blur, so I only knew Gorillaz. But anyway.
Anyway, they've got a Fortnite crossover event, so it's all over my TikTok. But yeah, Clint Eastwood, the song, the the piano in that, the da 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 da. That's actually a sample straight from like a crappy Japanese auto player thing, like instrument, electric instrument. They just nicked it off that, and the drums in that aren't actually drums. Like the cymbal thing's just a load of nuts and bolts in a bag that he shakes. Like he was really experimental with it, and that's why it's so good. But I've been listening to their albums recently, and I realised, their singles are like their only good songs. The rest of it's all just too experimental. But yeah, It's Theirs, probably the best song ever made, though. Anyway, even companies uncomfortable with contributing to Reform's coffers believe the party is getting harder to ignore. Reformers in power in big local authorities and working to influence them is a necessity, not a choice. Farage said Reform is now in its advanced teenage years, and the conference is seen as a chance to influence the party's direction and rub shoulders with previously unknown politicians who have become relatively powerful. Nice. Labour is raising its prices up by 20% compared to with last year's, as, in the words of one organiser of the conference in Liverpool at the end of the month, it seeks to cash in on the government dividend. The party was 3.7 million in the red last year, raising 90.7 million but spending 94.5 million. Price rises will start to pay off that debt and build a war chest before elections, described as a cabinet source as the PM's midterms. Right, Tory, but I need a favour from you. I need you to join Reform and make sure that we kill Starmer in the elections. Obviously not in real life.
Ofcom.
In Minecraft?
No, in real life. No, in the elections.
No, in real life.
Obviously, I meant figuratively in the elections. Like,
politically in the
yes.
Ofcom. Thank
Sarah,
you.
Sarah, you've got no choice too. You join Reform. You help out with this. We have to make sure Labour.
I
never
can't join
elected.
Reform. Since your last comment, I've just got feel good just looping in my head now.
Done.
Yeah, same.
Do you know what will make you? Do you know what else will make you feel good? Join Reform.
Windmill, the past.
Right.
I have been thinking a lot about, I have to vote in the bloody Scottish parliamentary elections, and it's going to be really awkward.
Why? Because you have to vote Reform.
Well,
To be fair, you're on a limb already. Enough voting Tory in Scotland now.
the problem is that
You've already been through the fire and the flames.
remember
That's not
that that's Dragon Force.
I know. I was using the figure
No,
of speech, and then I realised at the last moment.
But yeah, because of the regional votes in Scotland, you don't need that many votes to actually win seats, and it's like, well, the problem is that you have this issue where like the Conservative Party's going to lose like half their seats, right? But you need to vote for them to make sure the ones that we have left stay. Like we could get wiped out in Scotland.
I actually understand what you're saying.
Get wrecked.
No. What he's also saying is it's not just a matter of Conservatives being wiped out. It's Reform also lose, and then you're stuck with Labour or SNP, right?
It'll probably be SNP.
Yeah, it's also the regional votes are really difficult to tactically vote in because it depends on what the results everywhere else are. So it's really difficult to work out like what the actual ideal thing to do is. But then again, I'll probably just vote Conservative because I'm used to it.
Boo! Naughty. Don't want that.
I mean, personally, I would still take Conservative over. I mean, again, I've got the Stockholm syndrome as well, Tory.
Yeah.
If push came to shove, if there was no chance of a reform in my area, then I would also defer Conservative, despite them shafting me at every opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Where I live, the SNP are going to win, right?
Not if you vote Reform. You specifically.
No, the actual the constituency seats.
Yeah, Tory, it's all on you.
No, you vote reform, they won't get him. Imagine,
turn out
I
to
know
be
what you mean,
0.0%.
yeah. Imagine
my
now Imagine now Tory votes Tory, obviously, and reform lose by a one single vote. Imagine that, Tory. Imagine that. It was you. It was your vote that could have made the difference and got reform in, but no, you got the SNP instead. That would be on you, and I would never let you forget that.
Yeah, that would feel pretty bad.
I feel your terror because my area it skews very heavily Lib Dem, and it's like the last thing that my area needs is more Lib Dem.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well. Anyway, I think that's going to cover all the news we had for the last 2 weeks. Obviously, we didn't do a Tosh Talks last week because I wasn't at work, and I decided to go on a little streaming hiatus. But I think there's going to be another much bigger hiatus where there won't be anything on my channel at all from like a Saturday to the Saturday after. But that's at the end of the month, and I'll make that very clear because we all need holidays and we all need breaks. So yeah.
What's that?
Well, true. I actually will probably ban myself from Twitter as well for that period as well. I might be on the Discord, maybe, but we'll have to see. Right. Anyway, I'd like to very much thank the chat for being very energetic tonight. Had a good chat rate. Only 10 likes though still, so what the hell. Oh yeah, we also had the super chat from Mr. Burr, so thank you very much for that. In terms of shilling, Hollow Knight, I'm carrying on with that on Thursday, and then Saturday we've got Laughing at the Guardian. Cero will be there along with Alan, who was in the chat before, and someone from the Discord who has to come on, called Remy, so it's a bit of a risk, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you very much for Tory Rebuttal for coming on and taking the beating as usual.
I'm always willing to be your paddle boy.
Has your morale improved?
I don't know. I mean, I try and avoid having any morale at any point anyway. So
Jeez.